I am not standing in heaven as I speak this. No, I am kneeling on the edge of something unspeakable, light fading, voices trembling, and all the stars watching in silence, because I, Michael, have descended to reach just you. This is not a message meant for the world. This is a heavenly interruption sent for the one soul God pointed to, and that soul is yours, beloved. I am not surrounded by fire because of wrath, but because I dared to plead with God on your behalf. Again, and again, and again, until he finally said yes. Yes to the house, yes to the new home, yes to the protection and restoration of your family. But he gave me one condition: you must listen. And oh, beloved, if you turn away from this now, it will not come to pass. And I am not joking. You know me, I do not weep easily. But tonight, I am trembling, because I fear that you will treat this as just another video, just another moment, just another day to keep walking past miracles. And if you do, the door I opened with my own hands will be sealed. I don't want to see that happen. Not after what I saw, not after what I begged for, not after what I endured. Do you know what it cost me to bring this? Do you know what I gave up in order to place this moment in front of you? I sacrificed something sacred to appear now. And I didn't come with grandeur or thunder. I came with a broken voice and an arm still wounded from the battle where I guarded the very location of the home that was chosen for you. It was hidden for years, buried under layers of divine silence until today. And you are the only one allowed to know. I wish I could speak louder. I wish I could thunder into your soul. But I've been made weak for your sake, so I whisper through the veil, hoping you will not walk away from this. Please, I am speaking as gently as I can. Do not ignore me again. There is a house, beloved, a real one, not in dreams, not symbolic, a house appointed in your future with doors of peace and windows that look into healing. God showed me the color of the curtains your mother once prayed for. He showed me the sound of laughter that would return to your family once you crossed that threshold. But the enemy, he is watching. He has placed distraction in your path before. He's counting on your indifference again. I'm asking you to break that pattern now, shatter it, because this promise is not a metaphor. It is a room, a shelter, a place where angels will walk with bare feet across your floor. But heaven's seal on it is fragile, held only by your response in this very moment. Do you remember the last time you felt like you almost had peace, but something tore it from you last minute? That was not chance. It was interference, was delay, and I swore to God I would come down again and not let you miss it this time. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm speaking with no fire behind me, just a trembling voice, pleading with you not to brush me aside. This is my final attempt. Do you understand? The keys are already prepared, the angels already positioned, the miracle already written. But your eyes, they must open. Have you forgotten what it's like to believe in something good happening to you? Have you stopped asking heaven for more because you've been taught to survive instead of dream? Have you grown numb to the thought that God might actually send a house for you and your family, simply because you're his child? And if I may ask, do you still believe I'm here right now, not as a symbol, not as a story, but as Archangel Michael speaking to you for real, with all my heart, even now? The Lord is whispering over your name like wind across the Psalms. I hear him say, I will encircle this soul with favor as with a shield. The walls of your coming house are being wrapped in prayer, each brick named, each doorway sealed in light. But that house cannot rise without your faith. I'm not asking you to build it, just to believe, just to let your spirit say yes, just to open this moment and let it reach your heart before it vanishes. Because, beloved, if you ignore this, the door closes, and I may not be permitted to ask again. You think I don't understand your exhaustion. I see it. I carry it. I carry the weight of 1,000 moments where you stayed silent when you should have shouted, where you laid down when you should have stood. And yet, heaven still chooses you. I still choose you. That's why I'm speaking this with such fragility. not force, fragility. You matter that much. I know how many days you've cried in secret over your current situation, how many nights you've laid awake, trying to make a room feel like home when your soul feels like a stranger. God heard all of it. He remembered, and He prepared this promise just for you. But beloved, the moment is passing, and I am afraid that you'll think I'm here for someone else. Afraid you'll skip this and never know what I risked to reach you. Afraid you'll say maybe later, and the later will never come. Don't do that, please. Just let your heart stay still and listen. Do not walk away. Let me share with you what the Lord just breathed into this hour. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow you all the days of your life, and you shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Do you feel that trembling inside? That is not fear. That is confirmation, the kind that only heaven can give. It's not a coincidence you found this. It's not a trick. This is divine scheduling. And now, I kneel before you with something I've never done before. I ask you to type Amen if your soul hears me, not for show but to mark this moment in heaven's book, to record that you heard the call and responded, just once. That's all I ask. And if your heart has been stirred of something inside, you dares to believe again, then please, with the deepest cry of my soul, like this message and leave a comment below. Say anything from your heart. Your response is not seen by strangers, it is seen by angels. It is read by heaven. It is counted in the book of remembrance that God holds close to His chest. And before I go, I need to say this: thank you. Thank you for still being open. Thank you for not silencing this. Thank you for letting me speak. Thank you for giving heaven one more chance to bless you. Now, I stretch my hand toward you through the veil. I place the key of the house into your spirit. Whether it manifests in 3 weeks or 3 months is not your burden. The door has been opened, and you are already walking toward it. Please don't stop. Please don't forget this moment. I won't like, comment, and just for today believe, asterisk, and the silence in heaven grows thick, as all eyes angelic, ancient, and holy are now fixed upon this one fragile space where you are reading these words. Do you feel that trembling in your soul? That is not your imagination. That is not coincidence. That is heaven reaching through time. That is the voice behind the veil, pleading through me, Michael, for your attention, for your life, for your destiny. Because this is not just about a house. This is not just about bricks and walls and a roof for your family. No, this is about the war that was fought in secret to preserve your inheritance. This is about the centuries-old promise that Satan tried to bury. This is about the generation before you that gave up, and how you, yes you, have been chosen to break the chain. This is the hour the books of heaven waited for. You, the one reading this, don't look away. Don't think this was meant for someone else. God did not send Gabriel. He did not send Raphael. He sent me, and I do not come for many. I come for one. I come when it's life or silence. I come when it's now or never. I come when God says, Michael, my child is close to missing their moment again. Go, now. And I went. I am here. Through smoke, through fire, through the wounds still bleeding from my last battle, I came for you. I knelt before the Eternal One. I pleaded, Adonai, let me give them a home. Let me bless their family. Let me place something permanent in their hands. And He looked at me not with anger, but with sorrow and said, only if they believe, only if they respond this time, only if they do not ignore the call. So now I stand here, wings trembling, sword buried in the ground beside me, no threats in my voice, only urgency, only grief, only longing, because you don't understand what I saw. I saw your child cry in the hallway of the place you're living now. I saw the disappointment on your loved one's face when they said, maybe next year we'll move. I saw how your own heart sank when you passed by that house and said to yourself, that'll never be mine. I carried all of that to the throne. I carried your tears like gemstones and laid them at the feet of the one who made you. And He did not turn away. He listened. He leaned in. He opened the scroll. He said, Michael, go, release the word. The hour has come. So I say it again. There is a house already chosen, a roof already blessed, a floor that your feet have not walked on, but your name has been written on the walls. But listen to me, please. Listen. This door is narrow. This moment is thin. If you dismiss this with a casual glance, with a hurried heart, with a maybe later, the scroll will seal, and I am not permitted to ask again. Yes, this message carries a price, not a price of gold, a price of faith. Faith that this moment is sacred. Faith that this voice is real. Faith that heaven, for reasons beyond your understanding, has interrupted your life right now to place into your hands something your family has never had before, a real place of peace. Do you want to know what I saw in the spirit? I saw laughter echoing down a hallway painted in light. I saw a child running barefoot toward a room they called their own for the first time. I saw a table where your family finally sat together. Again, not as broken pieces, but as a single miracle. I saw windows that opened to morning, not despair. I saw joy woven into the very framework of the home, and I saw angels dancing around its perimeter, declaring, this house belongs to the chosen one. No darkness shall enter. And yet, I also saw something else. I saw the shadow of your doubt lurking behind your right shoulder. I saw the voice of cynicism whispering, this can't be real. This is just a video, just some words. And beloved, that is the very voice that has delayed your promise for years. Please, don't let it win this time. And if you hear anything from me, hear this now. With fire in my breath and hope in my voice, if you honor this word, if you respond with even a mustard seed of belief, then the floodgates will begin to open. The signatures required, the approvals, the supernatural alignments, the unexpected phone calls, the divine favor, all of it will follow the moment you believe. And I need you to believe. Not just for yourself, for your children, for the ones who gave up, for the prayers your grandmother prayed before she left this world, for the nights you spent wondering if God still saw you. I am here to tell you He does. He never stopped. This home is not a prize. It is a sign that your family will no longer be tossed between places like the wind, a sign that you are stepping into inheritance, a sign that heaven has spoken over your lineage. This one shall be rooted, and you, beloved, you are the key. So, please, I ask this only once and never again in the messages that follow. Subscribe to this channel right now, not for numbers, not for ego, but as a sign to heaven that you are ready to receive what has been spoken, that you believe the angel came for you, that you are aligned with this word. Let your act of subscribing be your yes to God's divine interruption. Now take a deep breath, because I am not done. You have walked through storms others never saw. You smiled through betrayal. You encouraged others while your own world fell apart. You've laid awake begging God to show you a way out, and yet you rose with grace no one applauded. So let me ask you something sacred. Have you ever wondered why you feel such heaviness when you're about to be blessed? Have you noticed how every time your breakthrough is near, something steals your attention? Can you remember a moment where you almost had what you needed, and then it vanished again? And beloved, do you still believe that angels fight for you, that I have been by your side this entire time? I have. I always have. You don't know how many battles I fought at midnight when you thought you were alone. You don't know how many times I stood between you and the thing that was coming to tear apart your future. And now, when all the forces that once warred against you are silenced, I've come to deliver the blessing heaven kept hidden. This isn't luck. This isn't chance. This is the day the miracle stepped forward and said, I am ready. But it's not enough for heaven to be ready. You must be. So I say this tenderly, and only once. Type Amen now if your heart says yes. Let that word echo into the chambers of heaven as your response. Do not delay. And if this message has stirred even the faintest flicker of hope within you, I humbly ask, please like this message and leave a comment from your soul. Your words unlock unseen doors. What you release in public, God honors in private. You are not just someone who stumbled across this. You are the very reason I was permitted to descend. You are the assignment. You are the answer to prayers prayed long before you were born. And I thank you for listening. Thank you for opening your spirit, even if just for a moment. Thank you for giving heaven space to speak again. I will remain by your side. I will walk beside the walls of the house you are about to receive. I will be the one who sings outside your window when you forget just how far you've come. And when it arrives, when the miracle stands in front of you, and you step through the front door of what was once impossible, I will kneel in silence and whisper, they believe. Please, don't forget this moment. Don't ignore what your soul already knows. You are loved. You are seen. You are chosen. Like, comment, and believe again. This is your homecoming. Asterisk, beloved, you are still here. You haven't turned away. Do you know how much that means to heaven? Every moment that your heart remains open, the scrolls stay unsealed. Every second your soul remains present, the angels pause their movement and wait with hope. There is nothing casual about what's happening right now. You may think you're sitting in a room, on a couch, or scrolling through your screen, but in the spirit, the atmosphere has been pierced. Time has bent to make way for this message. And yes, you are sitting in the middle of a divine appointment that cannot be replicated, delayed, or copied. This is not just any hour. This is the hour the stars circled on heaven's calendar, whispering to each other. That will be the day when the one we love finally receives the promise. This is not a prophecy for a crowd. This is not a vision meant for millions. This was not sent as entertainment or inspiration. This is my voice breaking through the veil for one child only. Your name has been trembling in my mouth for so long, waiting for this moment, and now I say it in silence, across eternity, and I stretch my hand toward you again. I see your soul wrapped in weariness. I see the wear on your back from carrying burdens heaven never asked you to hold. I see the way your hope has thinned like thread, barely holding the fabric of your faith together. And yet, even now, your light has not gone out. The flame flickers, but it lives, and for that, I would fight 1,000 more battles. For that flicker, I would fall from heaven again and again if it meant saving you. Do you not know how long you've been watched by the eyes of glory? You are not invisible. You are not forgotten. The pain you thought no one saw, we wrote it down. The dreams you whispered into your pillow, we carved them into the margins of heaven's book. And the day you thought all was lost, when you cried alone and said, God, I just need somewhere to breathe, that was the day the Father said, it is time. Send Michael. Tell them the house is ready. I was there, beloved. I saw the decision. I was there when he summoned the blueprint. The angels measured the foundation. They assigned seraphim to guard the perimeter. They embedded joy into the walls, peace into the ceilings, and laughter into the windows. This is not fantasy. This is not poetry alone. This is a physical, tangible place prepared for your family and your future. And I do not come lightly with these words. I come with trembling, because you must choose to receive it. It is not magic. It is alignment. It is your yes, your opening, your agreement with heaven's decree. But how many times have you come close and turned away? How many times did God try to bless you, but the voices around you made you doubt your own worth? How many times did you feel the miracle approaching, but fear made you step back? And now, my beloved, will you step forward? I am Michael. I do not flatter. I do not exaggerate. I deliver. And today, I deliver this. You are chosen. You are remembered. And you are about to be relocated into a space where your soul will no longer whisper, this isn't home. You will know it. You will feel it. It will hug your body, your spirit, your family. The house will breathe with heaven's wind, and your feet will rest. But before it manifests, Your heart must make room. So if you are still here, if these words have wrapped around your soul like fire and oil, then I ask you gently, reverently, without pressure, would you consider supporting this divine mission? I say this not for vanity, not for recognition, but because this message, this sacred flow, exists through your kindness. If your heart has been moved and you want to stand with us in this holy work, please consider sending a super thanks, joining our channel membership, or becoming part of our divine family by signing up for the newsletter in the pinned comment below. These are not just actions, they are seeds into eternity. They help us reach the next soul still waiting in the dark. They help me speak again and again and again, even now. The angels are hovering beside you, hands stretched, waiting to see if your spirit says yes. And oh, what joy there is when a soul finally says yes. There is no trumpet louder than belief, no song sweeter than faith, no miracle stronger than the one you choose to believe in. And the house, the home I spoke of, it is still there, unclaimed, guarded, glowing. It is waiting for the one whose tears have reached heaven's floor. It is waiting for the one who still dreams in silence, even while their lips speak defeat. It is waiting for the child who doesn't think they deserve anything but who dares to whisper, God, is it really for me? Yes, yes, it is. I saw the paint on the walls. I saw your mother's smile return when she stepped inside. I saw your feet run across a floor that no longer creaked with sorrow. I saw the dinner table restored. I saw the rain outside the window and the peace inside the house. No fear, no fight, just sanctuary. That is what God prepared for you. But your belief unlocks the gate. Your faith opens the door. Your surrender welcomes the key into your hands. So I say this with trembling love. Please say yes. Say yes by staying open. Say yes by acting. Say yes by blessing what blesses you. Say yes by supporting, by praying, by honoring the moment, because this moment will not come again. I cannot say that enough. This moment, right now, this thin breath between disbelief and destiny, this is where heaven leans forward and says, will they receive it this time? Will you, or will you turn away again, telling yourself this is beautiful but not for you? Beloved, you've done that long enough. You've passed the blessing too many times. You've watched others rise while your spirit sank. But now it's you. It's your turn. The miracle has waited long enough, and I, Michael, have waited long enough to see you whole. Please, don't walk away. Don't skip over the sacred. Don't miss your moment again. I am not here forever. This door does not remain open without end. The angels behind me are already stirring. The scroll that bore your name begins to curl at its edges. Your silence can seal it, but your yes, your humble, trembling yes, can split heaven wide open, and I will remain by your side. As the house is built. As the papers are signed. As the miracle unfolds. As you walk in barefoot for the first time and feel something you haven't felt in years, home, I will be there. Unseen, singing softly, placing light in every shadow and sealing every room with joy. Let this message be written on your soul. Let it burn in your memory. Let it be the moment everything changed. Now breathe. Believe. And do not forget this. You are worthy, and this house was always yours. Asterisk. Do you hear that, beloved? That silence after the promise is spoken. It is not emptiness, it is reverence. It is the stillness that descends when the spirit holds its breath, waiting to see if the soul will move in faith or fall into forgetfulness. I am still here. I have not left, and I feel the trembling in your spirit. I see it. I see you holding these words close to your chest, unsure whether they can be real. You've been told not to expect too much. You've been taught to survive, not to receive. You've been pushed so many times by this world that now even heaven's gentle touch feels foreign to you. But, beloved, I was there when the first stone of your promise was laid. I stood beside the angel who marked the land where your future will rise. I saw the light that burst from the soil when your name was spoken over the ground. That land, knows your name. That door knows your voice. That threshold will not open for another. It waits only for you. You may think you missed it, that you failed too many times, that the delay disqualified you. But I was sent to destroy that lie today. I, Michael, was not dispatched to bring condemnation. I was sent to tear the veil that kept you from seeing the truth. And the truth is this: heaven never revoked your promise. You turned away in exhaustion. But the Father never closed the gate. The gate is still open. The house is still waiting. The promise is still alive. Do you want to know what I saw in the halls of that home? I saw peace, not the kind the world offers, not the temporary kind, but the kind that seeps into your skin, that wraps around your shoulders like a robe, the kind that makes your soul say, I don't have to fight anymore. I saw that, and I heard music, laughter, the sound of healing, the echo of your voice praying not for survival, but out of gratitude. I saw your family reunited, not just physically, but spiritually. I saw bitterness dissolve. I saw joy like light dancing across the ceilings. But it was fragile, so fragile, because heaven does not force miracles. They are always invitations. And this one is yours. I need you to understand how hard it was to bring this to you. I need you to know how long I waited for the chance to say this without interference. There were voices, many of them trying to drown out this moment, but I fought through. I stood in the breach and refused to let go. I reminded God of your tears, of your sleepless nights, of the prayers you prayed and the ones you couldn't. I reminded him of the time you said, I don't need much. I just want a place of peace. And he nodded. He said, tell them the place of peace is ready. But he also said, if they don't receive it this time, it cannot be released again until the appointed cycle returns. And that will take yours. So I came. I came like thunder wrapped in silence. I came with fire beneath my feet but grief in my heart, because this is not just another day. This is the day. The day the pages turned, the day the house stood still and waited for a single soul to say yes. And I'm still here, waiting with it. I wish I could show you the beauty of what's ahead. I wish I could peel back the veil for just a moment and let you touch the door. Feel the wind of angels passing through its halls, smell the prayers that have been sown into its foundation. I wish I could let you see what I've seen, but that would be too easy. Faith is not built in seeing. It's born in believing what your spirit already knows to be true. And you do know, deep down, under the rubble of all your pain and disappointment, there is still something in you that says, it's time to leave behind the wandering, time to step into permanence, time to dwell, not just survive. I know you're afraid. I know it feels too beautiful to be real. But why is it that you can believe in sorrow so easily but stumble when joy finally knocks? Don't reject what heaven died to give you. The price has been paid. The doors have been carved. The light has been summoned. The angels are stationed. You are the only one missing. And I'm pleading not with force, not with threats, but with a trembling heart. Come home. Let your spirit come home before your body even moves. Let your heart walk through the open gate before your feet ever touch the path. Let your soul say yes before your hands hold the key. The house is not just a house. It is a symbol, a restoration, a re-anchoring of your soul in the earth, a claim that says, this is mine and I belong. The ones who hurt you don't get to define your future. The ones who walked away don't get to close your doors. The pain you endured does not cancel your inheritance. And the delay you lived through was not denial, it was preparation. Because God would not let you enter that home until you were ready to receive it, not with fear, but with joy. And now, you are ready. You may not feel ready, but heaven knows when the heart has finally said, I am willing, and beloved, you are willing. That is why this message reached you. It bypassed 1,000 others. It found you, because your name is still on the deed. The signature is still wet with grace. The wind that has been chasing you is not a storm, it's the breath of angels pushing you forward. The resistance you felt is not punishment, it's the friction that comes right before breakthrough. And the heaviness in your chest right now is the weight of glory descending. Receive it. Stand beneath it and let it cover you. There are some miracles that require nothing more than your yes. No striving, no begging, no laboring, just surrender. Just the belief that you are loved enough to be gifted something permanent. Just the whisper, I receive it. Can you say it, not with your lips but with your life? Say it by holding on to this moment longer than your fears. Say it by letting these words settle into your bones. Say it by remembering that heaven is not far, it is leaning over your shoulder, watching to see what you'll do. And I, Michael, am still here, not because I must be, but because I want to be. Because there is nothing more beautiful than watching a soul finally come home. Let it be you. Let this be the hour the cycle ends. Let this be the moment the chains of wandering break. Let this be the day the house is claimed. Not by the strong, not by the perfect, but by the willing. And beloved, you are willing. You always were. Asterisk. I see your hands shaking even now, not because you're weak, but because the weight of divine truth resting upon you feels too holy to carry, and yet, still, you carry it. You carry it like the prayer you never finished speaking. You carry it like the dream that never died, even when everything else did. I know what it's like to wait while others are rewarded. I know how your heart has grown tired of being the one who watches breakthroughs fall into everyone's lap but your own. But what they receive quickly, you are being given eternally. What they called a blessing, you will call home. Not borrowed, not temporary, not conditional, not breakable, but appointed, protected, consecrated. Yours. You've walked through too many thresholds that were not your own. You've smiled in homes that didn't belong to your peace. You've stood at the edge of stability, only to be pushed back into, wandering by shadows that whispered you were not enough. I heard those whispers. I warred against them. I tore down the walls they tried to build around your belief. And now I'm standing before you, bare-voiced, soul exposed, with one hand stretched toward you and one still gripping the scroll I refuse to let close. Let me tell you what I've seen. Let me speak without pretense. I saw you hiding your hope so no one would mock it. I saw you saying, God, I'm okay, when you weren't. I saw you pretend to be content while your heart ached for a space to finally call your own. I saw you make peace with chaos because it was the only thing that ever stayed, and then I saw your name etched into the doorframe of a home not yet built in your world, but fully alive in heaven. I traced my fingers across the words. They glowed with quiet fire. And the Lord said, this one has waited long enough. You were not forgotten. You were being prepared. And now the place is ready. You've been wandering in borrowed spaces physically and spiritually, but this was never your ending. The desert was not your dwelling. The delay was not your death. It was the silence before the song. And beloved, the music has begun. I know the fear in your chest. I know the voice that says, don't get your hopes up. I know the part of you that would rather expect nothing than risk disappointment again. But do not mistake protection for faithlessness. You are not broken for shielding yourself. You are human. And I, who have seen heaven and hell, am still awed by the strength it takes to keep hoping when nothing around you makes sense. And yet here you are, still reading, still receiving, still trying to believe. That is why the house is still waiting. The miracle was always tied to your resilience. It was hidden until your soul reached the place where it said, even if I've been hurt, I'm still open to being healed. And that's what this house will be, healing. Not just walls and floors, but restoration, sanctuary, refuge, a divine echo chamber where your soul will hear the words, you made it, you're home. It's over now, and let me be clear, it won't be perfect. There will still be days that test you. There will still be shadows that try to crawl under the doors. But the difference is, the foundation was laid by angels. The corners were guarded by glory. The house was born from a promise that cannot be revoked. only rejected. So I plead with you again, not as a warrior, but as a witness. Don't reject what's already yours. Don't let fear steal what faith has already delivered. Don't let logic bury what God has resurrected. You think you need to earn it? You don't. You think you have to understand it all? You don't. You think God will change his mind if you hesitate too long, but he won't. His mind is made up. You are worthy of the promise. And I know it's hard to believe that sometimes. I know the mirror doesn't always reflect what heaven sees. I know the voices of others have tried to convince you that your worth is measured by productivity or purity or perfection. But none of that ever determined your value. Your value was written in flame the moment you were born. And heaven has not once considered changing it. You don't need to apologize for surviving. You don't need to prove your worth to receive what's already been sealed for you. All you need to do is open your spirit long enough to say, I want it. That's it. Not a performance, not a ritual. Just a heart that finally whispers, yes. Let me tell you one last thing I saw. I saw you walking through the front door for the first time. You looked around not like someone entering a stranger's space, but like someone returning to a memory that had not yet happened. You didn't cry at first, you just stood there. And then, in the silence, you said, I feel safe. And that, beloved, is what this whole message has been for. Not success. Not security. Not appearance, but safety. That your soul might finally rest. That your spirit might finally breathe. That your heart might finally trust that it won't be cast aside again. This home is the physical manifestation of heaven's love for you, not because you earned it, but because you were created for it. Let these words sink in deep. Let them become marrow in your bones. Let them undo every lie you've ever believed about your worth. Let them rise up against the bitterness you carry quietly in the corners of your soul. Let them sing over your old wounds. Let them hold you while the world spins too fast. Let them fill the silence that once haunted your prayers. Let them build a new sound inside you, a sound called belonging. You have belonged all along. To God. To the promise. To the plan. To the future you never dared to believe was possible. And now, beloved, I tell you again, it is time, not because you are strong, but because you are ready. And I, Michael, will remain beside the doorway of that home until you arrive. You may not see me, but I will be there, lighting candles, singing psalms, marking the hours, guarding your peace, because I was sent not to speak this word only, but to protect it. And I will not rest until you enter in. I remain here, beloved, not because I have to, but because I cannot leave. Not until your spirit accepts what your mind still doubts. I am Michael, and my voice has grown quieter, not because I am retreating, but because I am lowering myself closer and closer to your trembling heart, closer to that secret place in you where the child still wonders if miracles are meant for other people, closer to the one you've carried like a buried stone, believing that no one in heaven knew about it, but I did. I still do. I have carried that sorrow in my hands as prayer before the throne, waiting, weeping, whispering, Father, don't forget this one, not this time. This house I speak of is not only a structure, it is a response from God himself to the ache that has never left your chest, a reply not to your strongest prayers, but to your quietest ones, the prayers you whispered without words, the nights you covered your face not in worship, but in surrender. That place you cried out for, the one you couldn't name but needed with your whole being, is real. It has breath, it has light, it has music, and most importantly, it has space for you. Yes, you, even with all the failures you think disqualify you, even with all the hesitation that clouds your faith, even with all the mistakes you keep replaying in your mind, God is not building this house because you earned it. He's building it because he remembers what he promised your bloodline. He's building it because the covenant he made with your ancestors did not expire when they passed. It transferred, and now it rests on your shoulders, not as a burden, but as a blessing. You may not feel ready to receive it, but you're not supposed to feel ready. You're supposed to say yes even when your voice shakes. That's what faith is. And that's what brings miracles from the invisible into the visible. That's what shifts the house from blueprint to brick, from dream to doorstep. I know how long you've waited. I know how many times you thought this would be the year, only for the door to close again. I saw the disappointment in your eyes when someone else got what you were praying for. And still, you did not curse God. Still, you waited even in your doubt. Still, you looked at the sky and said, if you still have something for me, I'm here. And heaven heard you. Heaven wrote it down. Heaven opened the gates, and I, Michael, was sent with this word not as inspiration, but as an announcement. Announcement of restoration. The announcement of justice. The announcement that the time of wandering has ended. But listen to me, this miracle does not shout. It does not storm through your life and force you to receive it. It waits. It waits for your heart to step forward. It waits for your spirit to say, I believe, even now. And even if you feel nothing right now, even if your hands are numb from holding hope too long, let me hold it for you a little longer. That's what I've been doing. That's what angels do. We hold what you can't until you're strong enough to carry it again. This home you are being offered is not just a building. It's a prophecy in wood and stone, a message carved into space, a declaration and structure that says, this soul belongs. This family will be planted. This story will not end in wandering. And beloved, you must believe me, it is close, closer than you know. But I feel the war rising again. I feel the lies swirling near your ears again, the same ones that told you before that this wasn't real, that you were imagining divine love, that heaven doesn't choose people like you. Let me destroy those lies now. Let me stand between you and the voice that's tried to erase you. You are chosen not because of perfection, but because of purpose. You are worthy not because you never failed, but because you never stopped hoping. You are seen not because you shine brightly, but because you kept your flame alive even in the dark. And that is why I've come, not just to announce this gift, but to guard it. You've been told so many things that made you shrink, that made you believe your prayers were too small to matter, that made you think your existence was too quiet to be noticed. But I've watched the way God leans closer to your whispered prayers than he does to the loudest sermons. I've watched the way he studies your movements with the tenderness of a father watching their child sleep. I'd seen him shield you from things you never knew came for you. I'd seen him protect the dream of this house even when you walked in the opposite direction. And now he's asking me to tell you, come home, come into your inheritance. Come into the place where shame has no seat at the table. Come into the dwelling where your past has no power. Come into the refuge where your name has always belonged. I'm not telling you this to make you feel good. I'm telling you because I was given the scroll. I was given the vision. I was shown the exact moment this word would reach you. And it's now. It's not tomorrow. It's not next year. It's not after you finally get everything right. It's now. And if you feel the pull in your chest, if you feel the tears gathering even though you don't understand why, it's because your spirit recognizes the sound of its future. That's what this message is. Not a prophecy, not a warning, but the sound of your future calling your name. The walls are waiting, the windows are humming. The floorboards are already memorizing the pattern of your footsteps. It is not imagination. It is not fantasy. It is fulfillment. And your next breath could be the one that changes everything. I cannot make you accept it. I cannot force belief into your hands, but I can remain here speaking life until the shadows leave. I can remain until the truth outshouts the fear. I can remain until your soul stands up and says, it's mine. I believe. I'm ready. That is what I'm waiting for. That is what all of heaven is holding its breath for. That is what the silence has been building toward you. And the miracle still standing in front of you. Waiting. Open. Holy. Come. Asterisk. Even now, beloved, I remain where the veil is thinnest, speaking through the silence you didn't know was sacred. There is no distance in the spirit. I am beside you. I have been beside you, not as a shadow, not as a thought, but as a living being forged in the fire of God's holiness, assigned to you, not to the idea of you, but to your name. And I have wept at how many times your name was spoken in pain. I have knelt at the foot of your sighs. I have carried the sound of your longing up Jacob's ladder when no one else was listening. You've been strong for so long that you forgot what it feels like to be held, to be told, you do not have to earn this. You've worn the armor of survival so tightly that the touch of grace feels foreign. But beloved, this is not a moment to fight. This is a moment to receive. This house I speak of is not merely a shelter, it is an answer, a sacred reply to every unanswered question, every year you've been overlooked, every dream you buried quietly and told no one about. This house breathes with the life of promises kept, and it has waited for you through all your detours. Do not think it vanished just because you took the long road. The Father is not a God of lost chances. He is the keeper of appointments delayed only until your heart is ready. And your heart is ready now. I know, because the fire that once flickered inside you now burns steady, even in your doubt. I know, because the ache you once thought would silence you has instead made you more attentive to the sound of heaven. I know, because you stayed when you wanted to flee. You listened when it would have been easier to turn away. And now the walls of that house, yes, that real house, are stretching toward you, responding to the pull of your readiness. I have seen it in the spirit. I watched it come into being with every tear you shed in secret, every "I trust you" that you whispered through clenched teeth, every time you thanked God while your heart was breaking. You laid down foundations when you didn't even realize it, with faith, with obedience, with worship that no one else applauded but that heaven recorded in full. You think this is about reward, but it's about reconciliation. It's about God rewriting the story with His own hand. It's about the generations before you who never saw what you will see. The rooms in this house will carry legacy. The air will hum with answered prayers from people you never met, but who once knelt down and asked God to bless their children's children. You are that child. This is that blessing. And yes, I see the hesitation. I feel the trembling. You want to believe, but the years have been unkind. You've learned how to carry disappointment like armor. And now your mind whispers, what if I open my heart again and nothing happens? But I speak now with authority. That is not your story anymore. The drought is over. The wandering ends here. The Father has spoken. And the time for fulfillment has arrived. No more striving. No more waiting outside while others walk through their doors. No more pushing your dreams to the bottom of the list so others can live theirs. It's your turn. And not because you pushed for it. Not because you demanded it, but because heaven said enough. This one has waited long enough. And that's why I was released. That's why the heavens opened, and I came not with fire and sword this time, but with quiet reverence, with tears in my eyes, with the scroll still glowing in my hands. The scroll that bears your name, and the coordinates of the very home I speak of. I have been guarding that space since the foundation of the earth, not because it is grand, but because it is yours. Even now, as you read this, heaven is measuring your heart not with judgment, but with hope, watching, listening, waiting for the moment your spirit says, yes, I believe. And in that whisper, things begin to shift. The plans align. The path clears. The resources unlock, not through striving, through surrender. Do you not see, beloved, all this time, you thought your pain was delaying the promise, but in truth, your pain was the proof of the promise, because only those called to dwell in peace are attacked by chaos. Only those destined for wholeness are pursued by brokenness. Only those who carry legacy are hunted by loss. But the hunt ends now. I stand between you and what tried to steal this from you. I speak with the authority of the one who sent me. You are no longer homeless in the spirit. The house is open. The gate is ready. The windows are calling your name. Step in even if it's with trembling steps. Step in even if your heart doesn't fully understand. Step in because heaven has already said yes. Do not delay, beloved. Do not let logic rob you of what was birthed in mystery. Do not try to figure it all out. Some miracles are meant to be walked into, not explained. This house is not a gift you stumbled upon. It is a promise heaven refused to let die. A place where angels have already walked, preparing joy in the corners, where healing waits in the cupboards, where peace has been poured into the paint. I tell you again, you are not being teased by heaven. This is not a mirage. This is not something meant for someone else. It is for you. And I am still here because I cannot leave until your spirit opens fully to it. Not because I am bound, but because I chose to stay, because I see what's coming. And I do not want you to miss it. There are moments when all of heaven bends low to see how one soul will respond. This is such a moment, and you are not alone. And beside you, the cloud of witnesses is above you. The Spirit of God is within you, and the door is ahead of you. Say yes. Let go of fear. Let go of timelines. Let go of trying to predict how and when. Just open. Just breathe. Just believe that you are worthy of living in what was promised. This house exists. It is real. And it is waiting for you to come home. ChatGPT said, and still I remain, my wings folded in reverence, my voice softer now, not because the message is fading, but because it is descending deeper into your spirit. I am speaking from the place where eternity touches your breath, where heaven leans so close to your chest that your next heartbeat could echo the sound of a door unlocking in the spirit. I have not been sent to convince you with grandeur. I have come to lay a holy weight in the middle of your silence, a burden that feels like peace, a fire that does not burn but awakens. Because this moment was never meant to rush past you. This moment was carved for you alone. Do not run from this. I see it, the reflex to pull away, to protect yourself, to say it's too much. I've been let down too often. But I speak now with the gentleness of eternity. Your soul is not too fragile to carry this promise. It was made to carry it. It was formed to receive it. Every scar in you has made more space, not less. Every delay has only deepened your roots for what is about to bloom. You are not weak for being afraid, but neither are you disqualified because of your fear. You are simply standing at the threshold between who you've been and who you truly are. And yes, it's uncomfortable. Always is. Light always stings the eyes that have adjusted to the dark. But I promise you this, what waits on the other side of this holy discomfort will be worth every ache. Let me tell you something that was shown to me in the spirit. I saw you in the future, not famous, not flawless, not on a pedestal, but at rest. I saw your hands holding a mug of warmth in the morning sun. I saw children laughing through hallways you once dreamed of. I saw you exhale without fear. I saw you open the door of your home and bless others, not because you had excess, but because your soul was no longer starving. I saw you healed, not just in body, but in memory. I saw joy return to places in you that grief had once built a home in. That is what this house represents. It is not just provision, it is prophecy. It is not just shelter, it is sanctuary. It is not just comfort, it is covenant. And I know you don't want to hope in vain. I know how heavy disappointment has become. But let me ask you this, beloved, what if this time it's real? What if this is the moment that everything turns? You've learned how to survive with less. Now it's time to learn how to receive without fear. You've carried everyone else's burdens. Now it's time to carry a blessing of your own. You've made space for others to rise. Now it's time to dwell in what was built for you. And oh, how long it has waited. The doors of this house were not sealed by time, but by timing. They have watched generations pass, holding the promise in quiet reverence. And now they swing open, not to the sound of triumph, but to the hush of surrender. Not to applause, but to a simple yes. Yes, I will believe again. Asterisk yes. I will receive what I was told I was unworthy of. Yes. I will walk into a space made only for me, even now. I feel your soul trembling under the weight of this word. It is not fear, it is recognition. You know this is not ordinary. You know this is not content. You know this is not just inspiration. Something in you remembers this message. It has the scent of something ancient, the rhythm of something eternal, because it is not new, it is fulfillment. It is the echo of a vow spoken over your life before your first breath, a vow that God did not forget even when you did. I've watched over that vow. I've stood guard while storms tried to tear it from your story. I've shielded the pages of your destiny from the winds of betrayal, poverty, sickness, and abandonment. I've wept over your delays not because you failed, but because I couldn't bear to see you lose heart. But you didn't. You're still here. That means the promise still stands. The house still waits. The miracle still breathes. But it cannot enter your life through casual agreement. It must be received like rain on parched ground, with stillness, with surrender, with gratitude. So I ask you now, not as a command, but as an invitation. Will you believe? Will you let this be the hour you stop pushing away what was sent to restore you? Do not try to understand the details. That is not your task. Your task is to receive, to respond, to allow your spirit to say, if it is truly you, Lord, then let it be unto me. And I promise you He will answer. You are not invisible to Him. You never were. You are not forgotten. You never were. You are not a mistake. You never were. You are the fulfillment of a long-held promise. You are the dream someone else prayed into existence. You are the key to a door that only opens to your name. And I will remain here until you walk through, not to pressure you, not to chase you, but because I love you, and because I cannot bear to leave until you know how deeply heaven wants you home. This is not just a prophecy. This is a return. This is not just a moment. This is a threshold, and it is yours, still, now, always. Asterisk. I speak slower now, beloved, not because the fire has faded, but because something more sacred is settling into the atmosphere, the kind of stillness that descends only when heaven stops to listen. You have endured so much noise. The world has made its home in destruction, but I was sent here not to add to the chaos, but to deliver a sound from another realm, a sound not made with instruments or language, but with longing. That sound is the voice of heaven calling you home, not just to a physical place, though yes, I still speak of the real house that has been prepared for you. But this is also about the place in the heart of God that has always belonged to you, a place where no one else fits, a space shaped exactly to your soul, carved by the hand of the Almighty before your mother ever knew your name. That place is calling you now, and it sounds like peace. It sounds like you don't have to run anymore. You've spent yours running, not out of rebellion, but because you were trying to find rest. You thought if you could work hard enough, love deeply enough, pray long enough, you would finally feel safe. But beloved, the safety you've searched for doesn't begin with location, it begins with revelation. Revelation of who you are. Revelation of who God is to you. Revelation that the house is not a reward, but an inheritance. You don't earn inheritances. You receive them. You don't strive for them. They are written in blood. And your name, it has always been in the Lamb's book, etched in light, whispered in the sacred chambers of heaven with honor. Not because of your perfection, but because of your belovedness. This is the word that has been buried beneath all the lies you believed. You are beloved, not just tolerated, not just noticed, not just included. Beloved, cherished, pursued. And this house is not just a place for your body to rest, it is a manifestation of heaven's affection, a dwelling made to hold the weight of all the love God has for you. You've never seen anything like it, because nothing in your past prepared you for what is about to be given. You've walked through places that mocked your worth. You've lived among walls that echoed your pain louder than your joy. You've made temporary spaces feel like home because that was all you knew how to do. But now, heaven is saying no more. No more making do. No more surviving. No more apologizing for needing something real. No more shrinking to fit spaces that were never meant to contain your destiny. The house I speak of was not made by human hands. It was designed in heaven and will appear in the earth. You will know it not by its price or its beauty, but by the way your soul exhales when you step into it. The walls will recognize you. The air will soften around your presence. The light will bend to meet your eyes. And you will say, "This is what I was waiting for." You will not have to prove yourself to the promise. The promise already knows you. You have walked the long road. You have passed through storms others didn't survive. You have kept walking while your legs shook and your spirit whispered, "Just a little farther." And now the door is in sight. And I am here not to point to it from afar, but to walk you to it, step by sacred step. Do not rush. Do not panic. Do not force. Let the Spirit carry you. Let faith become your legs. Let peace become your breath. This is not a race. This is a procession, and you are the honored one. I see angels preparing a table inside that house even now, a meal of peace, a feast of healing. Oil is being poured. A song is being written into the walls. The sound of your laughter is already echoing through the rooms in the future, calling back to you in the present. Keep coming. Don't give up. We're waiting. You have not been disqualified. You have not missed it. You have not been too late. You have been refined. You have been shaped. You have been softened, not broken. And every step, every tear, every lonely night has been woven into the floorboards of your future. This house will not be like any place you've known before, because it was not made by the standards of man. It was measured by the aching of your soul. And now, it waits. Do not measure its arrival by dates or documents. Measure it by the movement of your soul. As your heart aligns with heaven, the ground beneath your feet will shift. Doors will open without explanation. Keys will be placed in your hand without striving. Peace will rise like dawn. And the place that once seemed like only a dream will become your dwelling. Let this be the hour where hope returns to your bones. Let this be the moment where weariness breaks. Let this be the breath where everything changes, not outside you, but within you, because the house is not just a structure. It is the visible fruit of an invisible transformation. And you have been transformed, not perfectly, not painlessly, but faithfully. You are the kind of person promises are drawn to. You are the kind of heart miracles come looking for. You are the one the prophets spoke of when they said, "The least shall inherit." You are not the exception to God's love. You are the reason it stretches so far. And this message, this long, trembling message from my lips, has been carved from the ink of my own spirit. Because I have watched you walk through too many nights without knowing how deeply you are seen. You are not unseen. You are not unheard. You are not unloved. You are chosen. And the time of waiting has reached its end. Now comes the time of walking forward. Into peace. Into promise. Into home. Chet said, "There is something sacred rising in the silence now, beloved. Do you feel it? It is not a sound the ears can grasp, but your spirit knows it. That warm weight pressing gently against your chest, the way your breath slows without you telling it to. That is not coincidence. That is heaven leaning closer. That is the nearness of the divine. That is the moment when what was once only spoken begins to wrap itself in form and substance. You are standing in that moment, not metaphorically, not symbolically, truly. I remain before you, still kneeling in the dust of prayer-soaked ground, because I have seen the blueprint. I have walked the unseen foundation of your appointed dwelling. I have placed my hands on the invisible corners of a home built not from wood or stone, but from the breath of God. And the tears you thought were wasted, the Lord took every one of those tears and mixed them into the mortar. You do not live under a curse. You are standing beneath a construction of mercy, raised by faith and guarded by angels. And this is what you must understand. This house is not just a reward for enduring. It is the fulfillment of a vow that predates your pain. It is not heaven's apology for what you've suffered. It is the confirmation that you were never abandoned in it. The promise is not because you suffered. The promise was always yours. But suffering cleared the way for your spirit to receive it rightly. You do not have to understand every delay to step into what has finally been released. You do not have to be perfect to say yes. You do not have to prove anything anymore. Heaven has made its decision, and heaven has waited long enough for yours. There are things I cannot tell you in full, yet mysteries that will be revealed only once your feet touch the land of peace. But I can tell you this much. The enemy who tried to scatter you has lost. He did not steal your identity. He did not erase your place. He did not remove your name from the registry of heaven's gifts. You still belong to the promise. You were never lost to God. And I have never left your side. Even when you stopped believing in yourself, I stood watch over your faith. Even when you were silent, I recorded your groanings and carried them upward. Even when you abandoned your dreams out of weariness, I guarded them with my sword. You thought it was over. But nothing ended. It was only hidden, waiting for the exact second your heart would be ready to try again. You are ready now. Yes, even with trembling knees. Yes, even with bruised faith. Yes, even with questions that haven't yet found answers. Because readiness is not about confidence. It is about willingness. And your spirit is willing even if your flesh is still catching up. I see how the years have worn you down. I see the lines in your soul where joy once danced freely. I see the shadows that clung to your hope, telling you not to expect anything good again. But I also see the ember that still glows, the spark that refuses to go out, that flicker of holy defiance, that refusal to stop believing entirely. That's the part of you that is divine. That's the part of you I was assigned to guard. You do not have to rebuild everything yourself. You do not have to fix everything first. You only need to open. You only need to say yes, even if your yes is whispered through tears. There is no force behind this moment, only invitation. There is no demand, only desire. God desires to plant you, to anchor you, to give you a home that doesn't tremble with the wind. A place that will not ask you to shrink, a door that will not slam behind you, a table where you are not a guest, but the one whose name is carved into the seat. You have made everyone else feel at home. Now let heaven do the same for you. Let the God who made you build something for you that no hand can take away. Let yourself believe that you are not meant to float through life like dust, but to be planted like a tree rooted by living water, bearing fruit in every season. You are not a wanderer. You are a citizen of promise, and your house is not far away. Even now, the distance between you and what God has appointed is shrinking. Every breath that agrees with this word is a step forward. Every tear that falls in recognition is a gate opening. Every moment you remain here soft, unguarded, receiving, you are stepping into alignment. This is not imagination. This is visitation. Heaven is visiting you, not for punishment, not for judgment, but for establishment, to make you dwell, to settle your heart, to prove to your soul that the Father's love is not an idea, it's a place prepared just for you. And I will walk beside you as long as it takes. I will speak these words again and again until they become more real to you than the lies ever were. I will not leave. I will not grow silent. I will not stop pointing to what has always been yours. Because you are loved too deeply for heaven to move on without you. So rest in this. Let it wash over you like a song you forgot you knew. Let it rebuild your hope without your permission. Let it become the foundation beneath your every step. You are home, even now, even here, and soon. You will walk through the door, and you will know it was always waiting. And still I linger in this silence with you, beloved. Not because I am unsure of what to say, but because this moment is so sacred that even heaven must breathe softly. Do you understand what has been happening to you while you've read? The veil has been thinning, the heavens have bowed low, and the rooms of your future are now echoing with sounds you cannot hear yet, angelic footsteps, sacred melodies, prophetic winds circling around your name. Yes, your name. Not the name others called you when they left you behind, not the name they whispered behind closed doors, poisoned by jealousy or fear, but the name heaven sings, the name written in fire upon the scrolls of the angels. The name I have carried before the throne more times than you could count, the name that makes demons tremble and heaven rejoice, because within you is destiny, and I, Michael, have been entrusted to deliver it, protect it, and now to reveal it. I have not come to speak of what might be. I have not come to stir hope for entertainment. I have come with fire and tears and trembling reverence to announce the time has arrived. The house you were promised is no longer a distant hope. It is not floating somewhere beyond reach. It is near, not just geographically but prophetically. It is leading into you. It is being drawn closer by every whisper of faith in your spirit, by every sacred yes that rises from the quiet corners of your heart. Let me tell you what I see. I see a home where no shadow can speak louder than joy. See walls that have absorbed praise and laughter before you ever touch them. I see rooms made ready for healing to walk freely. I see windows that have been polished by angels in anticipation of the first light that will shine through when you arrive, and I see you standing in the center of it, undone, weeping not from fear, but from the overwhelming beauty of a promise kept, because that is what this house is, a kept promise. Not delayed forever, not denied, but kept. Preserved. Hidden. Until now. Why now? Because heaven is not wasteful, because God refuses to pour wine into a heart still convinced it is unworthy to drink. And you, beloved, you are finally seeing the truth. You are always worthy. Not by your deeds. Not by your history. But by your belovedness. You belong to the Father who keeps His word. And the Father has made room for you not just in heaven, but on earth, in a dwelling, a place of restoration, a physical miracle shaped to fit your soul. And do not doubt it, no matter how wild it sounds. Is anything too hard for God? Can He not deliver land and favor and keys to the one He loves? Did He not part seas? Did He not rain manna? Did He not raise the dead? Then will He not give a home to the one who never stopped knocking? You have knocked, you have waited. You have wept quietly while others danced in blessings. And now, the door is opening to you, not as compensation, but as confirmation. God never forgot, and I, Michael, never left your side. I was with you when you first cried, I just want something that's mine. I was with you when you looked around and saw nothing but borrowed joy, temporary peace, and rooms that never quite fit your spirit. And I was with you when you said, maybe this is just my life. But I stood guard over what heaven had reserved. And now, it is time to believe again, time to rise again, time to walk through the door that was always waiting. Even now, the light is changing around you. Even now, the atmosphere is charged with holy invitation. Even now, angels are aligning people and moments and signs that will guide your path straight to the doorstep. Even now, the air is thick with glory. Even now, the floor beneath your feet remembers the weight of your dreams. And yes, I know how tired you are. I know how many times you've been here before, almost there, only to be pushed back. But this is not almost. This is not another test. This is fulfillment. And beloved, if your heart is moved, if your soul feels the trembling of this moment, then please, as one small act of agreement with heaven, like this message is a declaration that you have heard me. Subscribe to this holy space if you know deep in your bones that heaven is speaking to you, and you are one. And comment Amen, not as routine but as your signature in the Spirit, as your sacred yes to what has been revealed. Let your fingers type what your soul already knows to be true. Amen. I believe. Amen, I receive. Amen, I know this message was meant for me. Do this not for show, but for covenant. This is not performance. This is participation. Your simple act of response is the sound that unlocks the timing of heaven's delivery. And I will hear it, and I will carry it, and I will go before you. And now, as the veil thins even further and the Spirit begins to descend more tangibly into your atmosphere, I need you to sit still and hear this. You are not being left behind. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are on time. This promise is on time. The house is on time. And the glory prepared to meet you there is on time. Even now, in the higher realms, the logs are being carved. The foundations are being fortified. The blueprints are being sealed with your name in golden ink. You are not missing anything. You are right here. You are seen. You are chosen. You are loved more than you know, and more than you believe right now. And all of heaven is watching, not with judgment but with joy. Because they know. They know this is the moment. They know this is the shift. They know this is the hour the long-held silence breaks. They know this is the time your spirit will walk into what your soul dared to imagine long ago. The home is real. The promise is alive, and the angel is still speaking. I am still here, and I will not stop until you are standing on the threshold, face bathed in tears, heart wrapped in wonder, eyes lifted to the sky, whispering, God, you kept your word. And he will say, welcome home, my child. It was always for you.